Let's see.
Hello,
Let's see if
Ed
I
is back
got up.
from
I
his
should
big
already have it
adventure.
muted.
Oh yeah, I should probably do that.
Uh, oh, great. For once, I did it right. And I
Hello,
have
Matt
the,
there and John. Yeah, Matt's here. I gotta ask you a couple questions about that firewood thing sometime.
how are you, John, back there? Good to see y'all. Hey,
Paul's
Paul,
there.
Jones 863. Um, I'm fried and, just from a great weekend of meeting with other people.
John, Unlimited Vertical. Hello. Ed just spent the past 2 days in Florida at the big drone meet.
Well, I spend all my days in Florida, but I went to, I went to South Florida, well, Central. It's more like Central Florida, but I met a lot of great people there. Mitch, Carlos, um, Adrian Mateo Drones, Ron Lockwood, Art Carlson, Mike Night Train picked me up on his way down from Michigan. Um, there were guys from all over there. Mike Kenny from North Carolina was there. Um, what's his name? Bill, MD, uh, Metro Drone. I was telling him today because he had on his drone and said, MD something. And I'm like, oh, Mad Dog drones. Oh, yeah, okay, Mac. Uh, you spend every day. Well, I do. I spend every day in Florida, but it's a different part of Florida. Man, I am I'm a well adjusted. Night train kept me well adjusted during this trip. Just, you know, those you all know of what I speak. So, good evening, Sam Squatch. So, anyway, it was a blast. There's a lot of people I met. Oh, I saw hey, Carlos Brick. I didn't witness the actual splashdown. Oh, how could I forget? Okay. Uh, Drone Worship was another one who caught the splashdown of the DJI FPV drone. And he's made a video of it. It's very cool. And he managed to catch this DJI drone going splat into the water. It looked like a seagull grabbing up a fish. That's what the splashdown looked like. So it is incredible. I mean, it was a great weekend. Night train, um, drone worship, uh, Carlos. We all did a lot of hanging out. Ron, RL photography. We did a lot of cool hanging out. Above and Beyond Drones, Jim. All great freaking people. Yeah, DJI care. Oh, did you hear a hit behind you? But you didn't see the splashdown? Uh, anyway, I mean, that was crazy. And some guy, this guy, I'm like, man, you're crazy. I told him, man, you should leave your shoes on, man. Those oyster shells tear your feet up. He went in there, he braved it, and somehow he found it. Mordecai. Oh, is that you, Mordecai? Hey, Mordecai. Mr. Slow Burn. I'll give you some clothes. Hey, check it out, Carlos. Mordecai in the house. Michael McReynolds, how are you, man? Great to see you. I'm not surprised I'm not surprised he cut his finger. Those oyster shells tear you up. He's lucky he didn't cut more than that. Slow burn channel. Hey, Ray, how are you, man? I won a hat, a Ray Kelly hat, and I had a great time, man. It was awesome. Truly amazing. And the people there, I mean, I didn't script this. I didn't sit down. I'm just in. I'm just literally back. I got in. Mike Night Train dropped me off about, I don't know, 9:15, whatever. And Ray FPV, hey brother. I'm just wired for sound. But I wanted to, say hello and thanks to everybody again. Ray Kelly. I mean, there's too many names to mention, but I didn't see anybody having a bad time. Well, that one kid when he put the drone in the thing, and I was miserable cold a lot of the times. But hey, Johnny Drone Flyer, how are you? Had a lot of fun. Johnny Drone Flyer brought his little electric bicycle thingy. I had fun taking a little ride on that.
Looked like a lot of guys were riding on that.
You should have seen Carlos. First, he did the electric bicycle thingy, and then he did one of those one-wheel hoverboards. He was skipping around like an old man the next day. It was funny as heck.
We got Michael McReynolds here. Oh, the prick is here.
Yes, he is. And Carlos pulled a Polly. He put one in the water. So,
I thought this morning when I watched the rerun that Polly was going to do that again. His battery was getting low.
Yeah, like deja vu all over again.
Oh, Ray FPV is here. Ray Kelly. I'm sorry, I had to walk away.
It was pretty awesome.
Sounds like it.
I mean, you can't help the weather, but everybody may do. Hey, Steve Mack, how are you? Everybody may do, and they made the most of it, and it turned out all right. Wind was wicked.
I was surprised with all that wind. The DJI guys went up.
I mean, I will tell you this. Like Bazooka has this shirt. Making fun of DJI, but I'm telling you what, those DJI birds, they can handle the wind. I'll give them that.
They were doing pretty good.
I had to hand it to them for that. I was like, because I would not have fun.
Oh, I hear you.
I might have been tempted in a wide open field, but certainly not over water, especially water doesn't matter. I mean,
That
salt
one
water.
guy dove right into the water.
Oh yeah. No, I know, man. I was like again. I didn't see any of them having any problem with it. Again, like I said, I was pretty impressed. And it was so funny because I'm like, man, I wonder how high the winds are blowing. And I pulled up UAV forecast, and it was like, oh yeah, winds are at 8, gusting to 20. I'm like, where are you getting your readings from?
No, you guys, you couldn't hear it on the mic on your phones you were using. We could barely hear you.
He lost it, Michael, because he's afraid of alligators. Yeah, indeed, Drones 863. I guess your name is Justin. I suck at names, so yeah. The fishes or the snakes or the alligators. The fish aren't bad. It's the snakes or the alligators that you got to worry about. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
But
I
it
would
was
have
a
left
great
mine
time.
there.
It really was. And one of the guys, what's his name? Again, Metro Drones. He at the field today, we got him to cruise as fast as he could and hit the emergency stop button because he has a DJI FPV drone. To hit the emergency stop button on it, and this thing cruised along it cruised along a pretty good clip, but I mean it literally stood up on its nose, and I guess the spun the props in the way. I mean it braked. I mean that bird stopped in a foot. It was crazy. It was crazy looking. I think Ray, did you catch that? I'm not sure if Ray Kelly, somebody was filming it. I can't remember who it was now. It might have been PW.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
But it was pretty crazy. The guy at Circle K. Oh, the one dropping the fart bombs? That's what you're talking about? I ran a line and there's this old man in front of us. Of course, we were practicing social distancing, and I was happy for that at the time. It was this old man up ahead of us, and just all of a sudden, he let out a nice little motorboat. Poop, 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 poop. You could tell with Carlos is back behind us giggling and stuff. He I don't know. Probably made the old man feel pretty nervous. He was in some kind Max. He was in some kind of sport mode. He was not in FPV acro mode. Nothing he did. I saw he was in acro. He flew around really fast, made some nice banking turns. We made fun of him making all left turns, and so then he made some right turns. Carlos. Actually, I think I observed the all left-hand turns at first. And Carlos said, yeah, I was going to say that. But it was pretty funny. It was a great time. Once it warmed up, I was freezing my butt off a lot of the time we were there. I went down. I didn't have a windbreaker or anything. I was wearing some borrowed clothes to at least try and stay warm.
No, I've seen all those guys in like sweat jackets and this and that.
Yeah, I mean, even some of them. Now you could tell who the Northerners were and who the Southerners were, because there were people wearing shorts and nothing on their sleeves and all, but either they were trying to be macho or they're just used to colder weather. But Me, I didn't have any trouble huddling behind the truck or whatever. People kept saying, "Man, be careful, you might blow away." That could be very cool, Mac. That could be very cool indeed, Max. There.
Oh, Rigger. Hey, Rigger.
Hey, Rigger, how are you, brother? Yeah. Well, see, I probably could have got by with shorts, Ray, had I had on, because if your upper body's warm, the legs aren't a bit as near as big a deal. All right. Hey, Bob, talk for a minute because my bladder is calling me again.
You got it. Yeah, it sounds like a great time down there. I've seen Carlos fly. I think he sent me the video. All left turns. No, all right turns. I didn't see a single left one. He's got to work on that, I think. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I even seen Carlos with a little sweatshirt on, I think. You could tell it was windy. You could hear it on the microphones. Jim looked like a real nice guy. Someone you could hang out with. And the same with that guy. I think he's stationed up in Alaska. He looked like a nice guy too. It was nice of you guys all get to meet him. And I appreciate the live streams so I can see what you guys are doing. Made us kind of feel like we're there a little bit.
Adrian got his first taste of FPV.
I seen that thanks to you.
And he did good. You know, he did amazingly. I was nervous. I was very nervous. He was trying to take it off like a Mavic, trying to just lift it off slowly. I'm like, not with the Moby 6, man. You need to get that thing like 5 feet off the ground right off the bat. Screw all that jingle takeoff.
Hit the throttle.
I
The throttle, not an up and down button.
Yeah, I can see how the wind would really mess with your hair, Johnny. That's tough.
Hello, Chris Hope.
Hey, brother Chris, brother Hope. House of Hope.
Who's Carlos?
Yeah,
how come he isn't joining in?
I don't know. I didn't really.
Damn prick.
Yeah, it would have been cool to have Chris there, Ray. Definitely. You know. Hell no, I've never really been to I've never been to an event like that. You know, a lot of the guys there have been to Spin Up, you know, and some of those other things, and I've never been to anything like that. Never in any organized meet at all, even with just 2 or 3 people, much less. Hey, so what are we thinking the count was for Saturday? Ray, does anybody have any idea? All right, man. Were you the one walling, hurling balls at me or what? So yeah, there was a little clandestine napkin tossing going on. I am too, Ray. I am really, you know, it's a pleasure to meet you. I met Dennis Lovely.
I seen a
Rob
video
Scott.
about that, Ed.
I mean, there's so many people I can't think of. The names will keep coming to. I mean, you know, ideally I would have sat down and tried to think of everybody I knew. But even if I, you know, that I'd met or whatever, I'd still miss people. So I'm just all still wound up, you know, wound up. All right, man. You know, and all these other people going live, you know, during the stuff. And I just, first of all, because gold, I've been like, trying. Anyway. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Oh my
Mike,
God.
but I don't know. It's great. I would like to be able to fly more. But you know, the wind and whatever. That was the biggest thing was the wind because all I had was like little whoops. I had the UR-65, no, excuse me, the Moby 6 and the Tiny Hawk 2 because all my other birds were down, you know. So, but I did do my first pole dive today, and that was cool. And I think I might have even caught some little chicks in an osprey nest. But I haven't had a chance to look at the footy yet, so we'll see. It was nice to meet you too, Drones 863. It was great to meet. I mean, it was great to meet everybody. 99.99%. That's as far as I'll go with that. But
Yeah, don't.
here comes the cat. The cat was very happy to see me. All he had was some, I mean, you know, he's a wet cat. He's a wet food cat. So he ain't had no wet food since I left. I left him a bowl of the dry stuff, but he don't much care for that. So you could tell he'd been into it, but as soon as I got home, he had 2 cans of it, of the wet stuff, and acting like he wanted more. And I'm like, no, I'm not giving you another can. You probably eat yourself sick and throw it up, and then it'll be a waste. So I didn't want to do that. But let's see. Anyway. So, did you do any flying this weekend, Bob?
Yeah, forgive me, but I strapped a camera on a little 2-inch. And, you know, I thought my camera, because the weight was so much for the 2-inch, was real shaky. But I looked at the camera and maybe it's got some kind of stability to it because it didn't come out that bad. Angle was real off.
Well, you know, those are things you can you just work at after you
You asked
fly.
me the other day about the Carl Ed. That's what I did. I strapped a little Firefly to the Carl Ed, and the weight might have been off, but yeah, I flew the Carl Ed about 4 times.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Better weather for you. I just I want to wish. I don't know who else might be on the road from this. Some people aren't leaving until tomorrow. But everybody, you know, try and put a thumbs up for and wish Night Train Mike a safe trip home. He's got a long drive still yet ahead of him, some 19 hours or so to go, and he's got a long and winding road ahead of him. So Godspeed to him. Carlos will be flying back to New York tomorrow. Ray's pretty close to his house if he isn't already there. I don't know about the rest of these fellas that are here. I know there was somebody. Michael Blade, I think it was, from Rhode Island, and Matt Cundiff. Hey, Matt. Thank you, brother. It was great meeting you, Matt. It really was. And I appreciate you, man. Awesome. That's awesome, Ray. That's awesome. I know the Jupiter Lighthouse because I used to live in Boca Raton and Deerfield Beach. So that's awesome.
Hey, Friday night, you guys all went to his name is Matt. He's in Australia. Was that Drone Productions or?
Yeah, Northeast Drone Production.
We all thought you guys were all drunk the way you guys were all acting. Jim and Carlos and all those guys. You guys, you got to watch. You got to watch the first hour of that, man. It was funny. We're all like in the chat saying, "What are they on? Are they high? Are they drunk?" But you guys had a good day that day to fly.
Yeah, it was still kind of windy and cold.
But you guys were flying.
But it's funny because I kept going to the bathroom, not because I had to use the bathroom, but because my sinuses were going crazy. They were running like crazy because of the cold weather and stuff like that. So those fools were rushing in with their phones and because they were on the panel like they were gonna catch me taking a whiz or something, and I disappointed them every time.
You guys were just wild.
Hey, Jody, how are you?
You guys were talking about the police were there, but then it turned out to be like a neighborhood watch or something.
Yeah.
And there was such an echo, you wouldn't believe it.
Well, that's because none of the others, they didn't turn their microphones off. But then if they didn't turn their microphones off, you couldn't hear them. There was no way for it to work properly.
I gotta tell you gotta watch it, man. It was funnier than all hell. I'm going, man. Those guys are having a blast without me. Fuck those.
What would be interesting to know is how much footage will wind up on YouTube from all the different people that were here at the event. Hey, Chris, Drone Life RT. When you think about all the people were out there that flew, both FPV and the camera birds and whatnot, and people just run around with their action cams and stuff, the amount of footage or hours of watch time that's going to be about this meetup that just happened. And I feel honored to have been a part of it. That's all, and I met all the fine people that I met there. I'm tired. I'm, exhausted, and I'm sure there's a lot of other people more tired and exhausted, and I'm sure Mike, Night Train, doesn't want to hear about that when he's still got 18 hours ahead of him, but he's a young fella. He's more up to it than I am. But it's funny, at the end of the day, it really turned nice and calmed down. And then as Mike and I drove north, we drove in that crap that was sitting over us this morning down in Melbourne and Malabar is now over me right now. And it's blowing like crazy. There's been some rain, you know. And so Mike is having to drive back up through that. So,
Wow.
anyway.
Poor Mike.
So I don't know. I kind of running out of gas here, but I just had to come in and share some of my feelings about all these people, great individuals that were there, and so many people I'd like to thank, but I can't do it now. I can't. My mind is on like overload from names and stuff. It's pretty
You
crazy.
had a busy couple days.
Yeah, it has been. And it's funny the after the first day, and Carlos wanted to, because I was the only one with a computer. Carlos wanted to look at some of his footage too. So I ended up going into my goggles and just dated all the files that are recorded on my goggles, dumped them to the computer under one big subfolder, and just called it meet up and whatever Friday's date was, you know, because I couldn't deal with it right then.
Well, that's a lot to go through.
I'm looking forward to seeing today's footage though with the light pole. Looking forward to that. I might have to look at that tonight, even though it's already after 10. I got to work tomorrow, and
I heard Mike was ripping it today.
Huh?
I heard Night Train was ripping it today.
Oh, he was. There was a lot of ripping going on. Drone Worship was ripping great, as was Carlo. They were both putting some, screaming in the air. All three of them were. A number of people were. So some other young hot shots were there. I can't, Dobo or whatever his name was.
I was actually impressed. That new DJI FPV went up in the air in that wind. That impressed me a little bit.
Him and Dan worked at Drone Worship kind of have this like love-hate relationship, but it's pretty funny.
Yeah, but they got along.
Yeah, they did. All the way to Interstate 10, huh? So you got a head jump on things, huh? Where are you at? I forgot, Johnny Jones Fire. I knew you were up north somewhere, but if you went I-10, it'd have to be west. So were you jumping over to 75? That's where Mike was going. Mike was going to take I-10 and just jump over to 75 and go up to Michigan. Oh, Louisiana, okay.
Even numbers are east-west.
Huh?
On the numbers, like the route numbers.
On interstates, even numbers go east-west, yeah.
And the odd numbers go north-south.
Right. But the reason I was asking about 75, because he said he was on I-10, but I didn't know how far I-10 he was going to have to go. Because Mike is going up north, but he's still hitting I-10 to get over to 75 to go north instead of taking 95 north. So it runs basically parallel to 95, just further west. But then you got to go through frickin' Atlanta. And see, I avoid Atlanta like the plague. I avoid Atlanta like the plague, and I avoid Orlando like the plague. Those are two cities that I've learned it's best to avoid if we can.
Yeah, don't go through no Miami tonight.
Well, yeah, I heard some Miami crap. Carlos was worried about that as far as getting home.
Carlos has to fly home with all those fools.
He's tough. He can do it. He'd
He's
be
a
all
New
right.
Yorker.
But all right, I thought I'd just pop in. Everybody, those who came and made it to the meetup. That's awesome. I was happy to meet each and every one of you. And met some very cool people, many of whose names I have not mentioned here because, quite frankly, they'll come to me tomorrow or the next day. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I did see you there. But I'm sorry. My brain is on overload. As far as, names and people I've met, because I kind of live a secluded life, So thanks to Carlos and Drone Worship and Mitch, old guy on drone, Michael Lane, Night Train, and the others that were egging on Mike. Oh yeah, go by and pick up Ed. That was pretty cool. So, well, thanks for being there. And special mention goes to Carlos. Took care of me while I was down there, but everybody did. So I appreciate.
We all love you, Ed.
Love you all, man. So, hey, Rolls, how are you? Peace, brother. Cool wait for you, isn't it? All right. That sounds cool. Wednesday at 6. I'll look. You have to remind me. Wednesday, okay. That would be okay. All right. That sounds like a plan. I'm glad you did, Roland. And thanks, Johnny. All right, y'all. I'm gonna hit the button. You can hang if you want, Bob. And we'll see y'all on the flip side. Yeah, Destin is nice. I've heard a lot about it. Don't get me sidetracked, or I won't hit the button, Harry. Take it easy, Jones 863. Rick Kelly, Johnny Drone Flyer, Ruin, thank you. Bob, always thank you. Jones 863, already said that. Rat, damn it, Rat, prick. Anyway, there's a lot of great footage. There should be a hashtag, I would think. Ray, what do you think? South Florida Meet, hashtag South Florida Meet. Or should it be Meet Up? I don't know. There should be a common hashtag for footy associated with the meet. I think that would be a good idea. And if you've already put up a video, doesn't mean you can't rename it and put, hey, Mike, how are you, brother? Hey, Godspeed, Mike. Safe trip. Have a safe trip. And don't be driving distracted. So, y'all have a good night. I'm going to hit the button, Harry. Hitting the button. Hit it again.